The moon landing in 1969 was one of the greatest achievements of humanity. But while space exploration has been rather quiet in the last few decades, we are now facing similar groundbreaking space megaprojects. Did you know that NASA plans to build a permanent moon base? And that Jeff Bezos wants to fly into space next month? Before we continue, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Tech World. Let us know in the comments below which of the following 5 megaprojects you like the most. Number 5. Starlink. The $10 billion Starlink project aims to provide high-speed internet in every place in the world. Announced in 2015 by SpaceX, the project initially involved launching over 4,000 satellites into low orbit. However, that number is set to increase exponentially as SpaceX has already got permission to launch around 12,000 satellites. SpaceX CEO Elon Musk branded Starlink as rebuilding the internet in space. In May 2019, the company launched the first combination of 60 Starlink satellites into orbit. Today, there are already over 1,700 such satellites in orbit, and SpaceX plans to send the 60 satellite configurations every 2 weeks in 2021. The Starlink internet service is currently in beta stage, and SpaceX recently revealed that it has over 500,000 pre-orders in place. Starlink is available in beta to customers in 6 countries, including Australia, Canada, and the United States. With thousands of satellites making rounds in the sky, they are aiming to provide global internet service by 2022. Starlink's ultimate goal is to move the world beyond the dreary work of digging up fiber trenches by delivering fast, reliable internet directly from the sky. The systems will move beyond location dependency and provide high-speed internet in the most remote locations on land and the seas. While the plans are set to revolutionize the internet, the project has also attracted some criticism. Astronomers argue that satellites will add to an already jammed orbital environment. The highly reflective surface of the SpaceX satellites can potentially fill the night sky with artificial light and present a barrier to observing the universe. SpaceX did announce some measures to resolve this issue, and while the utility of the measures is unknown, there's certainly no doubt over the transformative impact of Starlink. Number 4. Mars mission. When we talk of exploring space, reaching Mars is seen as the next big milestone. The human fascination with life on Mars goes back decades, and the first mission to Mars was launched in 1960 by the former Soviet Union. The United States quickly followed, and in 1964, it managed to send its first successful flyby to our neighboring planet. The flyby was called Mariner 4, and it sent back 21 images and gave way to a race to Mars. It wasn't until 1997 that the first rover landed on Mars. NASA's $264 million Pathfinder mission reached Mars and made humanity's first moves on another planet. As of 2021, space agencies around the world have launched 48 missions to Mars. 3 of those missions, China's Tianwen-1, NASA's Perseverance, and the United Arab Emirates Hope Orbiter were all launched in July of 2020. The launch dates were so close together because of a small window when the distance between Earth and Mars is the shortest. The reduced distance translates into lower fuel costs and shorter journey times between the planets. Since that small window only comes every 26 months, 3 separate missions made their way to Mars in the same month. The $2.7 billion Perseverance mission in particular has been a major success. The mission was sent to search for signs of ancient life and to collect samples for a return to Earth within the next decade. The Perseverance rover touched down on the surface of Mars near Jezero Crater on the 18th of February 2021. Based on spacecraft imagery, scientists believe that Jezero Crater was once flooded with water, making it possible for life to exist on the red planet. It is also known to be the most challenging terrain on Mars to land a spaceship, a feat that Perseverance has successfully achieved. Inside the rover was another fascinating machine, a tiny helicopter named Ingenuity, which became the first helicopter to take flight on Mars. Ingenuity weighs only 0.68 kilograms on Mars and was sent to the planet as a demonstration to understand whether the technology works in those challenging conditions. The rocks collected by the Perseverance rover will be brought back to Earth by NASA's Fetch rover, which will be launched in 2026. Perseverance has already sent back stunning colored images of the Martian atmosphere. In addition to the world's biggest space agencies, Elon Musk's SpaceX also has an elaborate plan to send the first humans to Mars by 2026. The company will use SpaceX Starship, a spacecraft under construction since 2018, to take human beings to Mars in 6 months. Many experts have doubted the ambitious plans, but Elon Musk remains confident and says that by 2060, Mars could be home to at least 1 million residents. He wants to accomplish that by launching 3 Starship rockets every day. Number 3. Space tourism. While putting people on Mars remains a distant dream, visiting space as a tourist is already a reality. In 2001, America's Dennis Tito became the first tourist to visit the International Space Station. The trip cost him $20 million at the time, and he spent 8 days at the space station. Over the next 2 decades, 7 other tourists have made their way to space on spacecrafts sponsored by government agencies. In recent years, a number of big private companies have also entered the space tourism industry. These commercial entities have promised to make space tourism more affordable, and soon touring space might become a more regular occurrence. At the forefront of these space tourism programs is Richard Branson's Virgin Galactic, which claims to have already sold 650 tickets to space, each costing $250,000. In May 2021, the company's spacecraft completed its first manned spaceflight from New Mexico, bringing the dream of sending tourists to space even closer. Virgin Galactic faces competition from Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin, which aims to offer tourists an 11-minute suborbital space trip at a price of just $200,000. Jeff Bezos himself will make a journey to space on the 20th of July 2021 with his younger brother Mark Bezos. The current second richest person will go over 100 kilometers into space, setting the stage for more similar ventures in the future. SpaceX also announced plans to take people around the moon in 2017. Japanese billionaire Yusaku Maezawa has already signed up for a trip. He is currently on the lookout for 8 people to join him on a 6-day lunar mission on the SpaceX Starship planned for 2023. Number 2. James Webb Space Telescope. The idea to install an observatory in outer space was first floated by American theoretical physicist Lyman Spitzer in 1946. He wanted a telescope in space so that the Earth's atmosphere does not become an obstacle when trying to observe the outer universe. In 1990, Spitzer's vision was turned into a reality with the launch of the Hubble telescope, which changed our understanding of the universe. It remains operational to this day, but soon, a much more sophisticated technology will replace the Hubble telescope in finding answers to the most complicated mysteries of the universe. While the Hubble telescope could see 10 to 15 billion light-years away, the James Webb Space Telescope is at least 100 times more powerful and is capable of observing the first galaxies ever formed after the Big Bang. Over its 25-year planning period, it has become the most expensive unmanned spaceflight project ever undertaken. The James Webb Space Telescope will be ready for launch by October 2021 and orbit 1.5 million kilometers from Earth, which is about 4 times the distance between Earth and the Moon. It will observe the universe using infrared light, allowing us to capture the light of galaxies and stars that are much farther away in space, and gain knowledge about the cosmos like never before. Number 1. Artemis Program. As we take steps towards greater space exploration and travel, there's one milestone that we achieved more than 50 years ago. July 20th, 1969 marked a watershed moment in humanity's conquest to conquer space, when American astronauts Neil Armstrong and Edwin Aldrin became the first humans ever to land on the moon. The moon landing was part of the Apollo program, which ended in 1972. One driving factor behind the Apollo mission was the Cold War rivalry between the United States and the former Soviet Union. However, the moon landing at the time wasn't meant to be a sustainable endeavor and was only an effort to win the space race.
I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal before this decade is out of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the Earth.
So in 2017, almost 5 decades later, NASA announced the Artemis program. The project aims to revive exploration of the lunar surface and has added significance as it also aims to put the first female astronaut and the first person of color on the moon by 2024. While the Apollo mission was an effort to reach the moon, the Artemis program is meant to build a sustainable human presence there. The agency will aim to map resources on the moon and pave the way for a long-term human exploration. The area picked for NASA's base camp is the lunar South Pole, which is one of the most studied areas of the moon. It was picked because its layers contain water ice, which is one of the most essential requirements to sustain life. Before landing astronauts on the moon, the space agency will send a mobile robot named Viper to the moon. The rover, to be launched in 2023, will look for resources of human interest and act as a precursor to the human mission. NASA's long-term goals include building a more habitable moon base and landing a future Mars mission based on data collected from the Artemis program. What do you think of these megaprojects in space? Which of these are you most excited for? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Tech World for more interesting videos in the future. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.